So that means that he was talking, it was written somewhere. Give me Isaiah 56 and 7. And then give me brother, give me Jeremiah 7 and 11. I'm going to show you where it is written. Because like I said, man, he was not dealing with the New Testament was not around. So he was reading out of something. He said it is written. Because they didn't have numbers and stuff like that like we have now. So it's written. You got that?
Isaiah 51 and 7?
56 and 7. You got it? Okay, yeah, get that. Let me show them where it is written. Because Most High said, he said it is written. He said, my house. But see, a Christian will see that and think Christ is talking about himself. He's not talking about himself. I'm going to show you just what he's talking about when he said my house. That's why he said, it is written, my house will not be made a den of thieves. You got that? Go ahead.
Isaiah 56 and 7. Even then will I bring to my holy mountain and make them joyful in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and their sacrifices shall be accepted upon mine altar. For mine house shall be called a house of prayer for all people. You want more? Okay.
Yeah, see, my house would be called a house of prayer. That's what he was talking about when he said my house. He wasn't talking about himself. So Christ, and that's what goes in that one thing. Christ is not God in flesh. That's a lie. Okay, because when he said my house, he was quoting out of something. That's why he said, it is written, my house. Go ahead, brother.
7 and what was it again? Jeremiah 7 and
Jeremiah 7 and 11.
Jeremiah 7 verse 11. Is this house which is called by my name became a den of robbers?
Hear that? He said, this house called by my name is a den of robbers? Wow. That's all. Go ahead, brother. Repeat that. We'll start at the top again.
Okay. Is this house which is called by my name became a den of robbers in your ears, in your eyes? Sorry. Behold, even I have seen it, saith the Lord. But go ye now unto my place which is called Shiloh.
Exactly, Shiloh. And that can be broken down to shalom, which means peace. Go to my place, which is called peace. If you go to Genesis, you read that there's a prophecy on Christ coming on. When it said until Shiloh come, it means until the peaceful one comes. He's talking about Christ. Okay? Give me 2 Peter 2 and 3. And then give me Micah 3 and 10.
I got 2 Peter.
You got 2 Peter? Okay, give me Micah 3 and 10. Because you guys need to wake up, man. Wake up and understand that these passages are not going to tell you about the laws. You need to come and talk to some brothers who are going to teach you. Do the research about who you are first. Know who you are. And once you wake up to who you are, then there's an obligation you got to keep up with. You can't just know you're Israelite and continue sinning. It don't work like that. You're just going to be a sinful Israelite. That's all that means. That's not how it goes, brother. Go ahead.
2 Peter chapter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt.
No, my bad. Give me 2 Peter 2 and 3. I'm sorry, 2 and 3. I'm sorry.
2 Peter chapter 2 verse 3. And through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you.
There you go. Right there. Hold on for that. Through their lustful eyes, they're gonna make merchandise of you. They're gonna tell you whatever you want, whenever you want, as long as you keep paying them. See, that's what that's talking about, man. He's talking about, he has a prophecy on today about our people being in a sleepful state. Go ahead and finish that.
And through their covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. For if the Most High spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness.
Sit on that for a second. See? So he's basically saying that, listen, these people are going, there's going to come a time when these people your people, they're going to tell you whatever you want as long as you paying them. That's all it is. So if the Most High, if his own, if he casts them down, what do you think they're going to do to you? Young man, come on, man. These churches are not telling you. It's all through the scriptures. But see, no one's teaching you anything, and they're telling you all the time. It's a trip, man. Come as you are. You got a precept for that, brother? Yeah, go ahead. Get that.
This is the book of Nehemiah, chapter 13, verse 19. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and sellers of all kind of ware lodged without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why do you lodge about the wall?
Go through, man, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine, go ahead. Why do you lodge against the wall? If you do so again, I will lay hands on you. From the time forth came they no more on the Sabbath.
Hear that? On the dealing with the Sabbath, man. There you go, right there. The merchants. If you stop, I'm telling you, man. If you stop on Saturday buying all this stuff, do you not know these people will leave your neighborhoods? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, like the brother said too. When we read in Nehemiah just now, it's linking up with what the brother was saying in Nehemiah. I mean, in the last verse in Peter's. It's basically what our forefathers did back then was they kept all the merchants out. They knew that these people was causing the whole house of Israel to fall into sin. Yeah. Like right now, the whole house of Israel is falling into sin because the merchants are open on the Sabbath day. Our people are buying and selling on the Sabbath day. They don't consider what we're doing right now. What we're doing what? Is teaching the law, statutes, commandments of the Bible. We're trying to show you your error. We're trying to show you when you buy on this day, that's sinful. All right? When you cook on this day, that's sinful. So what are we trying to do? We're trying to steer you to the right way, because that's what our forefathers did, the same thing. They did the same exact thing. All right? But they was a little bit more aggressive. They was putting hands on people. So we can't do that today. Y'all call the popo. Yeah. All right? So all we can do is tell you, because when Christ comes, he gonna lay hands on you. All right, bro.
Exactly. Perfect point. Exactly. I almost said everything I was thinking verbatim. Exactly. You got that?
Go ahead, sister.
Go ahead, sister. You got that? You got that? 2:07? 2:07. Yeah, go ahead. Read that. Check this out. Y'all, listen. Go ahead, brother.
Malachi 2 verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
Plain and simple. The priest's lips should keep knowledge, man. You can't even ask the pastor a question at church. Go ahead.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge, and they should seek the law at his mouth. For he is the messenger of the Most High.
Exactly. The priest's lips, he should be having some knowledge of the law. Something. I bet a lot of these pastors can't even quote the 10 Commandments. They don't even know what they are. A lot of them can't even do it. And when we up here speaking, I know they be around here walking around. They won't come up and say nothing, because they know they can't contend with the true scriptures. See, they've been taught Christianity. But you're going to find out, if you do the research, the word Christian, or that word, any variation of the word is only in scriptures with 3 or 4 times. So, yeah, it's an Acts. And then 2, they were called Christians. Yeah, get that, brother. Yeah, they were called Christians. They didn't call themselves Christians. They called themselves Israelites, because they know they're not. That's what people were calling them. Go ahead, brother.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 11 and 26. And when he found him, he brought him into Antioch. That was not in California, all right? We had that earlier. Brother said, is that in California? Antioch is in the Middle East, in Turkey. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
They were called, that's what they were called in Antioch, but they didn't call themselves that. So let's not get twisted. These people are not calling themselves that, man. They don't work like that. You got that, brother? Yeah, 13:1.
This is Ezekiel 13 verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out.
Prophesy against the prophets of Israel that lie to the people. They're lying to the people.
But out of their own hearts hear ye the word of the Lord.
Hold on for a minute. They prophesying out of their own hearts. I seen a broadcast of Quevedo Dollar. Now this man is slick. He's slicker than snot on the doorknob. Let me tell you what he did. He had a Bible, and he was just talking, but wasn't reading out of the Bible, but he just had it open, and made it look like he was going to read out of it. And at the end of it, he closed it, didn't read not one word out of the scriptures, but at the end, he closed it and took time, and that was it. That's how slick these people are, man. They're not going to tell you, they're going to get their judgment. The scriptures even say that they're going to get the time too. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord God, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own spirit, and have seen nothing. O Israel, thy prophets are like a fox in the desert. You have not gone up into the gaps, neither have made up the hedge of the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord.
Exactly. They're not in the trenches with the. They're not doing this like this. They sitting right in their pulpits, right in their buildings. They're not out here in the rain, sleep or snow, going to the people in the dirt, trying to snatch with the servants of the Most High and seal the law in their minds. They're not doing that. So if they're not doing that, then you tell me, how is it that they're going to get to you? I'm telling these people are like, Christianity is a false religion. The only way you're going to get saved is if you keep the commandments and the laws and the customs and statutes of our people. Because we had all of that before we got taken down. We had all of that. Give me Ezekiel 13 and 10. Is it? 13. Oh. No. Okay, yeah, 13 and 10. Sorry, yeah.
This is Ezekiel 13 and 10. Because they have subdued my people, saying peace, and there was no peace. And one built up a wall, and lo, others doubled it with a tempered a mortar. Sorry. Yeah. See, what that's talking. See, people thinking it's peaceful. This is supposed to be normal. Crack in the neighborhoods, prostitution, strip clubs, corner stores, churches. That's supposed to be normal to us. And we thinking we're in peace, but we're not in peace. I'm telling you right now, destruction is coming. Destruction is coming. Our people need to wake up and understand something, that these people are going to pay for what they did. Big time. And if you're not keeping these laws, if you don't have that mark, if you don't have that seal of the Most High, then yeah, it's looking pretty bad for you. That's the only way I can tell you. It's looking really bad for you. Give me Give me Ezekiel 7 and 21. Because give me Ezekiel 7 and 21. And then give me Habakkuk 2 and 12. Yeah. We can read Habakkuk 2 and 12 first. Because these people, I'm telling you, man, as long as they get that, fill their pockets, it don't matter. Bob Jackson don't care. I see this congregation buy him 2 motorcycles. And some of them, and I know personally, some of them in that congregation can barely pay their rent. Edification doesn't mean I speak to you and you can't talk back. That's not learning. That's a lecture. Edification is when I speak to you and you speak back and we bounce ideas off each other and you're learning something from me. That's learning. These preachers, they're not teaching the people. Go ahead. Habakkuk 2 verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood.
That's all in America, built a town with blood. We've been in this country almost half a millennium and we ain't got nothing to show for it. Go ahead.
Woe unto him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity.
And that's why this country is going to get judged. Most High don't bless stolen property. That's not you don't bless stolen property, man. They took the land from the natives and they want to kick them out of the country. And then not even know. You know what they do? They kick them out, and then some of them, and then they put them on reservations. Yeah, right next to nuclear waste. Isn't that a trip? That is a trip, man. You got that in Ezekiel? So these pastors, man, they're not telling you who you really are. They'll uphold these Jewish people, but not tell you you're the real Jew. Go ahead.
And I, Ezekiel 7:21, and I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place.
That means the Most High said, you know what, I'm going to let them